This video is for the mom who's overwhelmed, stressed, or frustrated. So I had a story of overwhelm. That's why I even began being online and being present in other women's lives to address their big feelings, their big emotions around overwhelm, stress, and frustration. What I learned, 3 things in a nutshell. The reasons most often that moms are overwhelmed. 1, they haven't really looked at why they're overwhelmed. They just keep doing their thing because they got stuff to do. So we don't look at the reasons that we're overwhelmed. And the second thing is not meeting basic needs. Are you really meeting your basic needs? Are you telling yourself you're just eating a little bit here and there? You're getting enough sleep even though you're really not. You're not getting exercise to burn off tension. You're not doing all the really basic fundamental self-care, also known as being a human being and honoring that you are a human being. And the third thing is managing expectations. Oh, girlfriend, I am the queen of unrealistic expectations. And in my experience, they weren't just around homeschooling. They weren't just around how I could create certain activities in the day or, craft all the really cool, fun things that I wanted to do. They were also around how I was going to show up perfectly, without a flaw, patiently. Not quite sure why I thought that would magically change as soon as I homeschooled, but I had unrealistic expectations all over the place, and I most certainly learn from other homeschool moms that they do too. So I've learned those 3 things: assessing your overwhelm as a requirement, meeting your basic needs, and addressing your unrealistic expectations. And when you begin to do that, you will notice that overwhelm begins to dissipate. So I did a little research online, and artificial intelligence gave me a few cues about you. And I would be very curious if what I share with you has been your experience. So tell me if it isn't. I have met a few Sarahs in my homeschool time. And so I found it rather interesting that AI believes that the mom who is named Sarah would be a good representation of the homeschool mom. So this is what they say about Sarah. Sarah is a homeschooling mom who's dedicated to providing the best education and environment for her kids. Yep. She's passionate about her role as homeschooling mom, but has encountered several challenges that have left her feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and frustrated. Yep. Her children are between the ages of 5 and 12, and she has been homeschooling for about 4 to 6 years. Interesting. And here is a journal entry from Sarah. This is completely made up, except that it's not, because there are enough people writing all over the internet that AI has picked up a few details about us. The intention of this video is not to creep you out how much AI actually can garner information, but more I'm curious if this is something that you identify with or some element of it that you identify with. So Sarah says, September 24th, 2023, "Dear Journal, it's been a while since I poured my heart onto these pages, but tonight I can't keep these thoughts bottled up any longer. As a homeschool mom, I constantly grapple with certain fears that seem to linger in the shadows of my mind. Today was particularly a rough day. I tried my best to engage my youngest, Emily, in her math lessons, but it felt like an uphill battle. Her frustration mirrored mine. I can't help but worry about her academic progress." Not sure anybody's saying academic progress, but we'll just go with AI on this one. "What if I'm failing her? What if my teaching methods are just not enough? The fear of her falling behind, of her future being compromised, keeps me up at night. One of the things that gnaws at my heart is the thought of Emily and Jake missing out on the social interactions that school offers. I see their cousins and friends from our neighborhood flourishing in traditional school settings, forming bonds that seem unattainable in our homeschool environment. I'm haunted by the idea that they might grow up socially awkward or lonely, and it's a fear I'm too ashamed to admit to anyone. Amidst the chaos of lesson planning, cooking, cleaning, and nurturing, I've forgotten who I am outside of being a homeschool mom. The truth is, I'm terrified of losing myself entirely. I used to have dreams and hobbies and passions myself. but they've been buried beneath piles of textbooks and chores. I don't know that textbooks are really that common with homeschool families. Am I wrong? I know that we do use them, but I don't know that many would actually refer to them as textbooks. The emptiness I feel is palpable, and I fear I may never find myself again. I often feel like I'm walking on a tightrope, trying to manage my own emotions while dealing with a challenging kid. Today I lost my cool, and the guilt is eating me alive. My emotional health seems to be deteriorating, and I'm afraid of the impact it might have on my relationship with Emily and Jake. What if they grow up seeing me as unstable, unable to provide emotional support they need? The weight of my perfectionist tendencies is suffocating. I set such high expectations for myself and my children that I can't help but feel like a relentless taskmaster. I worry that they sense my constant striving for perfection and that they feel stifled or unloved because of it. It's a fear I dare not speak aloud, but it haunts me every day. I know I should seek help. Deep down, I understand that it's okay not to have all the answers, but the fear of judgment, of admitting that I can't do it all, holds me back. I want to be the best homeschool mom for Emily and Jake, but sometimes I wonder if I'm only causing more harm than good. I'm trapped in this cycle of fear, anxiety, and overwhelm. Every night as I lie in bed, I replay these fears in my head, and they weigh me down like a heavy anchor. I wish I could find the strength to confront them, to seek guidance and support, but the fear of, fear of judgment, of admitting my vulnerabilities is paralyzing. I yearn for a beautiful, successful homeschool journey, one where my children thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. I dream of a day when I rediscover my own passions and identity, separate from the role of homeschool mom. But for now, these dreams remain distant, obscured by the shadows and fears and the weight of my challenges. In the midst of all this, I hope that someday I can summon the courage to seek help, to share these deepest fears with someone who understands and can offer guidance. I know I can't carry this burden alone forever. Until then, I'll keep pushing forward, doing my best to provide the education and love my children deserve, while wrestling with the ghosts that haunt my thoughts. This journal entry is a small step toward acknowledging my fears and challenges, even if it's only the pages of this journal. Maybe, just maybe, it's the first step toward finding the support and solutions I so desperately need. Until next time, journal, yours sincerely, Sarah. So I'm curious if your experience of the homeschool life has been like that at times, or if it's like that right now. That's why I'm here, because that experience does much, beautifully explain how I've experienced things. Of course, I explained it differently in my book, and that is not a journal entry from any real person. AI has combed the internet and come up with a lady named Sarah who wrote a journal entry about her experience feeling overwhelmed in her homeschool journey. But if that is an experience that you do know and that feels familiar, that's why I'm here. As a certified life coach and homeschool mentor, I'm able to help walk you through those experiences, to help you get a shift of perspective. By far the most meaningful thing that I can do with other women in this community is to help them shed what's not working so they can move toward what is true and authentic and real for who they are, who they were meant to be on this planet at this time, so they can do this homeschool life thing on purpose. If that's you, you're welcome to join me in a conversation, a coaching conversation. The fee is waived for the first time. We can figure out if there's a way we can help to create a plan to address whatever challenges you're having. I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Sarah's journal entry? Throw the comments or throw your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you want to connect, just say, conversation or coaching or something, and I'll make sure to get you a link for that. I hope you have a really lovely day. I'll talk to you soon.